So today I want to look at where our heart is when we are under pressure. And the truth is that quite often we create our own pressure because of the view that we have in the situation that we're in. We build up this pressure. Let me explain. Because in pressure situations, we feel small. We're surrounded by big things. Whatever those big things are that's created that pressure, we feel that we're surrounded by big things, and that builds up the pressure. And once we see ourselves as small and overwhelmed, we naturally start curling up. We start to withdraw. We start to pull ourselves in, right? And we see ourselves as kind of worth little because there's so many big things going on around us, and that's the pressure. It pulls us down. We're surrounded by bigger and stronger people and bigger and stronger things. And once we start to feel in that pressure situation, we hardly ever engage in doing something of great value because we kind of feel, I can't. It's like we don't see it's our place anymore because there's so many other big things going on around us. I was thinking about this in the week, and the people of God. Yes, the people, that was their title, the people of God. Remember when they were on the edge of the promised land and some spies were sent in to the promised land. The land that God had promised them. And the spies came back, and what did they say? The people of God, they came back and they said, that city that you've sent us in, we went and looked round, and they are big. They are enormous. Everything is big there. It's a big city with big people, and you got to almost feel them going, it's frightening. They will overwhelm us. And so, as a result of that, you know the story, they decided that the people of God would not enter the promised land that God said that he was giving to them. So I'm giving you this land. You say you have to fight for it. So the people of God rejected the promised land that God said that he was giving to them because of this report that everything was big and they just fell under pressure. They started to feel smaller and smaller and overwhelmed. Their perception was that the city is too big for them. And even though God promised it, even though I thought God was big, their perception was, we're nothing. We're nothing. We're not going to be able to do it. And the result was that they actually lost their purpose for a whole generation. What did they do for a whole generation? Wander around the desert. No purpose. Just wander around. They lost their purpose for a whole generation because God gave them that promise, gave them that land, and they said, oh, it's too big. We're overwhelmed and the pressure's too much. We'll just go. Perspective is so important. And things that are seen, if you like, from ground level are very different when you see them from above. I know some people don't like London. They don't like going to London because, well, it's big, isn't it? It's overwhelming. The perspective of the crowds and the taxis and the buses and even the street entertainers and so on, it's just, you kind of feel small, says some people, when they go to London. And get overwhelmed. Even pressured. But if you go up in the London Eye, on the side of the River Thames, if you've ever been up it, It takes quite a while. But as you go up, you rise above London. And when you get to the top, the people, the buses, the taxis, the street entertainers, the buildings, they're all like this. And the pressure of being down in the centre of the city kind of goes. Wow, look at that, I can see this, I can see that. Perspective of life can change when you're down here to when you're up there. And so we come to Ecclesiastes that we read a few moments ago, Paul read for us. Ecclesiastes 2, 22 to 25. Solomon wrote Ecclesiastes, King Solomon, the wise one. And he tried many things out in life. If you read through Ecclesiastes, we've covered it in the past. He tried many things out in life. And Ecclesiastes is his writing about life, with and without God. And he says in verse 22 of this passage, what do people get for all their toil and anxious striving with which they labour under the sun? You kind of feel the weight already, don't you? All their days, their work is grief and pain. Even at night, their minds do not rest. Toiling under the sun. Toiling under pressure. You can almost feel that pressure in the words that Solomon uses there, can't you? Work and striving and life. But it's like Solomon goes up in an under night. He doesn't. Rises. In the next verse, verse 24, a person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their toil. You can almost feel he's going up. He's starting to go up. Satisfaction in their toil. This too, I see, is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? It's like, yeah, I know what it's like to have the pressure and the stress and all that of work and so on, and if you just stay down there, it's overwhelming. But you start finding satisfaction, and the satisfaction comes from God, the hand of God. So again, it's a matter of perspective. Whatever we are under will determine our pressure in life. Whatever we are above will determine our outlook on life. So I hope you see that our perspective makes a huge difference to the way that we live. And while I was trying to get some perspective on today's message, sorry, the Lord said to me, Isaiah 40. Okay. Turn to Isaiah 40. You've got a Bible there, I hope you have. Turn to Isaiah 40. If you haven't got a Bible, then you know there's always some over there. Don't necessarily go now. Sorry? Isaiah 40. I looked at it several times. And I suggest you do the same. So if you've got Isaiah 40, look at it. Perhaps have a little finger in it for during the week if it's your own Bible or something. Make a little mark. And I want to read Isaiah 40, verse 28. Isaiah 40, starting at verse 28. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. You almost feel like we're going up them. There's a sense coming of beyondness, how great God is. Verse 29, he gives strength to the weary. He increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord, we're getting to the top here, will renew their strength. They will what? Soar, depending on what verse you got. Soar on wings of eagles. There we are, we're going right up there. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Wow. Thank you for reminding me of that verse, Lord. That's the perspective that you and I need daily. When we're on the ground with the noise and the crowds and the feeling small, let's turn to Isaiah 40 and get our perspective of life. Verse 29 again. If we are weary of being the crowd and toiling, God can give you strength. If you are feeling weak compared with those around you, he can give you power. Look up. And don't think it's an age thing. Because verse 29 says the young person can get tired and weary of life as well. If you're a young person watching this, you can still get weary, can't you? You can still get tired of things. There's a lot of pressure and peer pressure on our younger ones as well. And the expectations that they feel are happening in their lives. So it doesn't really matter what your age is. We all can get tired and weary if we focus on just the things around us. It becomes too much for us. Overwhelming. A burden. It even seems pointless. I can't do anything. It's just too much. I can't cope. Verse 31, Isaiah 40. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. That's a new perspective on life. Like being on the London Eye. God can lift us up above the things that overwhelm us. When our heart feels stressed and pressured, if we come to God, he can lift us up. We can be like being on wings of eagles.